Morning, Fockers. How are you? This is the only way to do it, right? It is now 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Now look where the moon is. 6 o'clock in the morning. Look, it is now low tide. It was low tide at 6:15. 15 minutes ago. Here in Bundaberg, it was low tide 15 minutes ago. At 2:10 in the morning, the moon was there. When I came out and went like that, the moon was up there. It is now 6 in the morning, 4 hours. It's hardly moved. Now that means obviously that it's in that elliptical stage and it was moving away from us, and that's why it seems to have taken loads of time to do nothing. My point is, it is low tide right now, okay? Low tide right now. What's the moon doing up there? I thought the bulging stuff. Of course I'm going to get sarky. Vectors. What vectors do I need to check? I'm telling you, the moon has nothing to do with the tides. Now, let me go and get my stick. Right now, can you see everything? Let's get a bit closer. Right. Right now, on this planet, give or take 5 minutes, because I rushed this to get, to get all the good stuff. Right. Okay. Right. Right now, that's where we are. Right? Low. Low tide. The moon is straight above us. Not straight above us, but it may as well be. Bulge. Now, in 1 hour, it's going to be high tide in Melbourne. Low here now. In an hour, it's going to be high tide in Melbourne. In 4 hours, it's going to be low tide in Broome. In Geraldton, I think was it? Yep. In 2 hours, it's going to be low tide there. Now, let's start up at Bristol. In Bristol, in 2 hours' time, it's going to be high tide, right? In Bristol, it's going to be high tide in 2 hours' time, give or take 5 minutes. The Cook Inlet in Alaska, so it's basically, it was high tide an hour ago. High tide an hour ago. It's going to be high tide in 2 hours in Bristol. It's going to be high tide in 3 hours at the Quebec, the Angava Bay. 1 hour ago, it was high tide in Nova Scotia, in the Bay of Fundy. And look, an hour ago, it was high tide in Argentina, in Los Gallegos. So, high tide just gone, high tide just gone, high tide just gone, coming up to high tide, 3 hours away. So where's the sense of this bulge? Look, you go anywhere you want, okay? You're not going to find a pattern. There isn't. There is no pattern. You could probably make one with your vectors, but what does the science do? It complicates everything to the point where everybody's going, what? And then everybody just pretends to believe it. The same as with the photons and the hypothetical particles and the theoretical rubbish. That's what happens. You don't understand it. You can't understand it because there is no delay during a solar eclipse. No light delay. Why hasn't anybody been able to give me a proper explanation how a solar eclipse works with finite light, with an 8 minute and 20-second light delay? It's obvious what's going on. This majority thing, you think you're all protected by a majority and that you're all hiding behind the same knowledge. There is no knowledge. Everybody just... You do not understand the science, the light science, because it is illogical. And somebody will come up with vectors and thises and horizontal planes and funnel effects and they'll find a reason why it's just dropping from high there, just dropping from high there, just dropping from high there, coming up to high, coming up to high. And all of that, I'm in Bundy and it was low tide 15 to 20 minutes ago. Right? 15 to 20 minutes ago. And what's that? Right? That is too far away. It's too small. It's not doing anything to the water. Already slam dunk. So, what other evidence do people want now? This is the thing. This is what happens. People just disappear. This is why I'm having trouble with followers, because you're wrong, isn't it? You can't handle it. Yeah, great. It's part of the problem with this planet. People just cannot handle being wrong. What is it? It is half the problem. Ego. Get over yourselves. You've been lied to. Get over it. It's right here in front of you, right? And the sun is coming up over there. Over there. Right? So the sun will be out at the same time as the moon. So it kind of does work with the 150 million kilometers away or whatever. Like, that's why we're seeing that shining exactly the way it is, because the distance that the sun is away from us. But I get the flat earth thing, don't worry. I get it. This planet looking down on that now, on the flat earth right now, what we have is Bristol. It's going to be high tide in 2 hours, right? Bristol. We then have Nova Scotia. It's just dropping now. So it was high tide an hour ago. Coming up to high tide, dropping. High tide an hour ago. And then we have Quebec, that Ongava Bay. It's halfway. It's going to be, in 3 hours, it's going to be high tide. And we have the Cook Inlet. High tide not long ago, hour ago, exactly the same as Nova Scotia. And then we can't see South America. Like Argentina would be down there. Right? And that is high tide. Isn't it? Look, isn't it funny? Right? That right now, high tide, or look, 5 hours low tide, 5 hours low tide, 5 hours low tide. Inlet in Alaska, Nova Scotia, and Argentina. It's going to be low tide all of these places in 5 hours. Now, look at that. This is the moon. Does it not, let me zoom out, does it not orbit us we are spinning that way, like woof, whoop. The moon is orbiting us that way and then around the other side and back up this side, but we're spinning faster, so it gives the illusion of going east to west, right? Now, if that is the case and it's coming this way, the moon is coming this way at the equator line, right? In fact, it's right up here, isn't it? It's here, up here, right now. So, why am I at a low tide? Why is it going to be low tide there in 5 hours? Why is it going to be low tide there in 5 hours? Where's this bulge? Why are these things 5, 6, 7 hours apart? Right? It's 5 hours between these two, and 4 hours between these two, and 1 hour between these two. Why? If there's how? The bulge. Why? Over in Argentina, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, the timeline. What's going on? See, it's all right here in front of you. And according to your science, everything that is happening right now with the tides around this planet is highly illogical. It doesn't compute with your science. Me, I'm saying it's all over the place. And it is all over the place. The moon has nothing to do with the tidal waters on this planet. Something else is moving the water. But there will be, no, of course nobody's going to accept it. What can you do? That is the human race at the moment, isn't it? Can't be wrong. Oh no, can't be wrong. That's why the place is the way it is. Everybody's offended by everything. Nobody can admit to being wrong. Everybody wants to be right. Everybody's ego is up their arse. That's what's wrong with this planet. It isn't logical for it to be low tide in Argentina in 5 hours, same time as the Cook Inlet. How can it be? They're hours apart, aren't they? Moon. How can it be? Anyway, you know how it is. And here I am, the moon right above us, up here, and it's low tide. And it's not like it hasn't been here for a while, okay? The tide was dropping when it was right above my head, and now it is low. And the moon's just up there. So, bulge, look. Oh, there's no point. I'm going on and on and on about this. There are that many lakes, Mediterranean Sea, all of these smaller bodies of water. It isn't logical for none of them to be shifting. But the moon is pulling on the water and the front of the planet hard enough that it's creating a bulge at the back. It's just so ridiculous, right? It's so ridiculous. And then it's supposed to be orbiting at the equator. Why are the massive tides where they are? Why? They shouldn't be up there. They should be along there. It's just one thing after another. The distance. The moon's 30 Earth diameters away from us. Earth is 3.6 times bigger than the moon's diameter. How on earth is the moon gonna... It's like... Anyway. Happy Saturday, folks, right? Obviously no gimmicks here. Look, it's almost like it hasn't moved, isn't it? Look, we do talk. I did tell it to move on. All right, folks, have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. The moon. The tides. There is something else going on. Whether it's flat or round, it is not the moon. Something else is displacing the water on this planet. Slam dunk. Later, peeps.